अस्सलाम वालेकुम व्यूअर्स, उम्मीद है खैरियत से होंगे। आज हम आपके लिए लेके आए हैं इंटर का पार्ट 1 यानी फर्स्ट ईयर की फिजिक्स के ऑब्जेक्टिव सॉल्व शुदा पास पेपर से, जिनमें से आपका हमेशा पेपर बनता है और मैं आंसर्स बताऊंगी। वीडियो में एंड तक हमारे साथ रहिएगा ताकि आपका कोई क्वेश्चन जो है वो मिस ना हो और आप फुल मार्क्स हासिल कर सकें ऑब्जेक्टिव के अंदर। तो पहला है जी, द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू कंसेक्टिव नोड्स इज लैम्डा बाय 2. Bending of the light around the edges of an obstacle is called the diffraction. When the body moves with the constant acceleration, the velocity time graph is straight line. The light emitted from the light emitting code LED has a wavelength of 1.3 micrometer. 1 radian is equal to 57.3 और उसके बाद difference between Cp and Cv is equal to the molar gas constant. The SI unit of the angular momentum are given by joule second. Number 8 है, the magnitude of I dot j into k is equal to 1. Beats can be heard when difference of the frequency is not more than 10 Hz. The speed of sound in air does not depend upon the pressure. The SI unit of the flow rates are meter cube per second. Motion of the projectile is two-dimensional. A man of mass 1 kg is falling freely. The force acting on it will be 9.8 Newton. The dimension of the work are ml2t-2. If amplitude of the simple pendulum is increased by 4 times, the time period will be same. Number of the spark plugs needed in the diesel engine are 0. उसके बाद SI unit of intensity of life is candela. The significance figure in 0.0010 r. The direction of the vector in space is specified by 3 angles. The dimensional unit of impulse is mlt-1. The unit of momentum in SI system is n-s. Original source of energy for biomass is sun. The dimension of angular velocity are t-1. और नेक्स्ट है जी 1 रेवोल्यूशन पर मिनट इज इक्वल टू पाई बाय 30 रेडियन और s-1. द सेंट्रीपिटल एक्सिलरेशन इज आल्सो कॉल्ड द रेडियल. द डायमेंशन ऑफ द विस्कोसिटी आर ml-1 t-1. Half wavelength corresponds to 180 degree. Sound travel faster in H2. The distance between two consecutive nodes are lambda by 2. Angle between ray of light and wavefront 90 degree. Magnifying power of the telescope is FO over FE. The distance covered by wave in 1 second is wave speed. Heat is form of energy. The number of spark plugs used in the diesel engine is 0. 1 radian is equal to 57.3. Earth receives large amount of energy directly from sun. If the force acting on a body is double, then the acceleration becomes double. Horizontal range is equal to the angle 30 and 60. If Rx is negative and Ry is positive, then the resultant vector lies in second quadrant. Significant figure in 0.00876 are 3. Environmental crises are known as entropy crisis. Ideal gas law is PV is equal to nRT. Repeaters are placed in the new system at the distance of 100 per kilometer. The diffraction is a special type of interference. Longitudinal waves are also known as compressional waves. Radar system is an application of Doppler's effect. Tuning fork is the source of sound. Next है जी, tuning of the radio is the best example of electrical resonance. Number 15, pressure will be low where speed of fluid is high. Number 16, weight of the body at the center of the earth is 0. Satellites are the objects that orbit around the earth. If the radius of earth is double, then the value of the critical velocity becomes under root 2 VO. In reversible process, the entropy of the system remains constant. Increase in the velocity of the sound in the air for 1 degree centigrade, rise in temperature is 0.61 meter per second. Both the dot product and cross product of two vectors a and b is 0 when a and b is 0, right? उसके बाद है जी a wheel of radius 2 meter turns through an angle of 57.3. It lays out a tangential distance 2 meter. The wavelength of the waves produced by microwave oven is 12 centimeter. The SI unit of angular displacement is radian. The value of the Boltzmann constant is 1.38 into 10 raised to power minus 23 joule K minus 1. Information carrying capacity of the optical fiber is bandwidth. A force of 10 Newton acts on a body of mass 1 kilogram for 5 seconds to a distance of 10 meter. The rate of change of momentum is 10 Newton. Delta Y is equal to L lambda over D. Speed of sound in aluminium at 20 degree centigrade is 5100 meter per second. The distance of the near point from the eye is about 25 centimeter. The value of Boltzmann constant is 1.38 into 10 raised to power minus 23 joule per K. Triple point of water is 273.16 K. Next है 1 light year is equal to 9.5 into 10 raised to power 15 meter. Dot product of vector with itself is a की power 2. Speed of moon around the earth is 1000 meter per second. Nobody begins to move or comes to rest of itself was given by Newton. SI unit of work is joule. Momentum of inertia of a sphere is 2 over 5 mr square. The value of angular momentum is maximum when theta is 90. The radian is equal to 57.3 degree. The SI unit of viscosity is kilogram per meter per second. और उसके बाद है जी the wave produced in microwave even have a wavelength of 12 centimeter. The speed of sound in copper is 3600 meter per second. Stars moving towards Earth show blue shift. Velocity of the sound is independent of the pressure. The distance between two adjacent bright or dark fringes is delta y is equal to L lambda over D. In multi-mode step index fiber, the diameter of core is 50 micrometer. Efficiency of steam locomotive is 8%. Cloud formation in atmosphere is an example of adiabatic process. A stationary wave is established in a string which vibrates in 4 segments at the frequency of 120 Hz. Its fundamental frequency is 30 Hz. To distinguish between transverse and longitudinal waves, dash is used. क्या use होगा जी? Polarization. Number 3, at constant temperature and pressure, if volume of the given mass of gas is doubled, then density of the gas becomes 1 by 2 of the original. If A plus B determinant is equal to B minus A determinant, then the angle between A and B is 90. The distance covered during the vibration of an oscillating body in terms of amplitude A is 4A. A layer over the central core of the jacket is called cladding. The horizontal component of the velocity of the projectile remains constant. If the pressure of the gas is doubled, then the speed of the sound is not effective. 2 radian is equal to 114.6 degree. The original source of tidal energy is moon. The time rate of change angular displacement is called angular velocity. The ratio of the momentum of inertia of disk and hoop is 1 over 2. The triple amount of water is 273.16 K. 1 tera is equal to 10 raised to power 12. Newton's rings are formed as a result of interference. The horizontal range of projectile at 30 degree with horizontal is same at an angle of 60. Venturimeter is a device used to measure the speed of the fluid. Next है जी, a body rotating with angular velocity of 2 radians and linear velocity is also 2 meter per second, then the radius of circle is 1 meter. For an ideal gas, the potential energy associated with its molecule is 0. Beats cannot be recognized if difference of the frequencies of the two sound is more than 10 Hz. The resultant of 120 Newton and 20 Newton forces cannot be 141 Newton. अब यहाँ पे कैन नॉट बी लगा हुआ है तो ये आपने ध्यान से जो है वो सॉल्व करना है. डायरेक्शन ऑफ एंगुलर एक्सीलरेशन इज ऑलवेज अलोंग द एक्सिस ऑफ रोटेशन. टोटल एनर्जी ऑफ द पार्टिकल executing SHM is 1/2 kilo x square. Height of the projectile is maximum at an angle of 90. The change in internal energy is defined as Q minus W. If the speed of light in vacuum is c, then its velocity in a medium of refractive index 1.3 is c over 1.3. In the absence of external forces, the change in momentum is zero. According to Huygens principle, each point on a wave front acts as a source of secondary wavelength. Which one is non-renewable source of energy? Coal. The profile of the periodic waves generated by a source executing SHM is represented by a sine curve. Significant figure in 0.0004813 are 4. Density of the blood is nearly equal to that of the water. When a transverse wave is incident or rare medium from a denser medium, the phase change will be 0 degree. The SI unit of angular displacement is radian. Next है the significant figure in 0.04060 are 4. An area of parallelogram formed by A and B, two adjacent sides, is given as AB sine. Projection B along A is given as B dot A. और उसके बाद है जी, a ball is thrown up vertically, it takes 3 seconds to reach maximum height. Its initial velocity is 29.4 meter per second. A ball is thrown with 20 meter per second at an angle of 60 with x-axis. The horizontal velocity of the ball at the top position is 10 meter per second. Which one is the non-renewable source of energy? उसके इसका है जी oil. If linear velocity and radius are both made to half body moving around a circle, then its centripetal force becomes 1/2. The internal relation is given as P1 minus P2 is equal to 1/2 PV square. On the average for normal healthy person, diastolic pressure is 70 to 80 torr. A spring constant 10 Newton per meter. After loading, the amplitude is 2 meter. Then the maximum potential energy is 20 joules. A stretched string 4 meter long and it has 4 loops of stationary waves. Then the wavelength is 2 meter. Number 13, in which medium the speed of sound is greater? कॉपर में जो है वो ज्यादा होती है. The light energy travels in space length if the object is placed at origin. A convex lens acts as a diverging lens if the object is given as within the F. Number 16, average translational kinetic energy of molecules for an ideal gas is given as 3/2 kT. Absolute temperature of water triplet point is 273.63 K. Next है जी, the blue color of sky is due to scattering of light. Number 2, as we go from pole to equator of the earth, the value of G is decreases. The distance covered by a body in time t starting from rest is 1/2 at 80 square. When one end of the organ pipe is closed, then the frequency of stationary waves of an harmonic in it given by, इसका आंसर आ जाएगा जी Fn is equal to Nv/4L. Next है, the fluid is said to be incompressible if its density is constant. Number 6, a precise measurement is the one which has greater precision. The work done in Isochoric process is 0. Work has the dimensions as that of the torque. Number 9. If red light is used as compared to the blue light, then fringe spacing increase हो जाती है. Number 10. Physical quantity pressure in term of base unit is kilogram per meter per second square. If red light is used as compared to the blue light, then fringe spacing increases. Physical quantity pressure in terms of base unit is kilogram per meter per second square. Number 11, the component of the weight which balances the tension in pendulum is mg cos theta. The magnitude of the vector r is equal to 3i plus 6j plus 2k is 7. Repeaters are placed in a new system at a distance of 100 km. Number 14. If a stress string is 4 meter and it has 4 loops of stationary waves, then wavelength is 2 meter. When hot and cold water are mixed, the entropy increases. The relation between the speed of the disk and hoop can be written as displacement is equal to under root 4 over 3 V hoop. Maximum number of components of the vector may be infinite. Next, as the intensity of the light depends on amplitude, the ratio of the angular frequency and linear frequency is 2 pi, which shows the correct relation between h and t of projectile. H is equal to gt square over 8. Velocity of the sound is independent of pressure. If the radius of droplet becomes half, then its terminal velocity will be 1/4. The percentage uncertainty in measurement of the mass and velocity are 2% and 3%. The maximum uncertainty in the measurement of kinetic energy is 8%. SI unit pressure of gas is Nm minus 2. Hot igneous rocks usually in molten or partly molten state are found in the depth of 10 km. Angle between ray of light and wave front is 90 degree. Solid angle subtended at the center by a sphere is 4 pi. If 30 waves per second pass through a medium at the speed of 30 meter per second, the wavelength is 1 meter. I into j into k is equal to 1. Information carrying capacity of the optical fiber is called bandwidth. Radar system is an application of Doppler's effect. For an ideal gas, the potential energy associated with its molecule is 0. A wheel of radius 50 cm having an angular speed 5 radius per second will have linear speed of 2.5 meter per second. The resultant of the two forces 3n and 4n acting parallel to each other is 7n. Next paper है जी, the magnifying power of an astronomical telescope is 10. If the focal length of objective is 10 centimeter, then what is the focal length of eyepiece? 10 centimeter होगा. The dimension of centripetal force are mlt minus 2. The diastolic pressure of a normal healthy person is 75 to 80 torr. If blue light is used as compared to red light, then fringe spacing decreases. If a body of mass 1 kilogram is allowed to fall freely, then its weight becomes 9.8 Newton. Work has the same dimensional formula as torque. The distance between two consecutive crests is called the wavelength. If A is equal to 2i plus 3j minus k and B is equal to 4i plus 6j minus 2k, the angle between them will be 60. Error in the measurement of radius of the sphere is 1%. The error is calculated value of its area is 2%. Which one of the following process is irreversible? कौन सा irreversible है? Chemical explosion. When speed of a body is double, then its momentum is double. When temperature of the source and sink of a heat engine becomes equal, then the entropy change will be 0. If a stress string is 2 meter and it has 2 loops of stationary waves, then wavelength is 2 meter. If the mass of the body is doubled, then the acceleration becomes half. The cross product of the two anti-parallel vector is 0. If the time period of the pendulum is 2 seconds, then this frequency will be 0.05 Hz. Michelson interferometer can be used to find the wavelength of the light. Next है जी, Bragg's equation is कौन सी होती है? D sin theta is equal to n lambda over 2. Next, 2 revolutions are equal to 4 pi radian. The distance covered by a freely falling body in first 2 seconds when its initial velocity was 0 will be 19.6 meter. Base units of the spring constant is kilogram per second square. Terminal velocity v is related with the radius r of the spherical object as v1 directly proportional to r square k. In the relation f is equal to 6 pi nu rv, dimensions of the coefficient velocity of viscosity nu is ml minus 1 t minus 1. If P is equal to pressure, V is equal to volume of gas, or P delta V represent the work. The value of solar constant is 1400 per meter square. Two identical waves moving in the same direction produce interference. The ratio of 1 ferrometer to 1 nanometer is 10 raised to power minus 6. The unit of 1 over 2 PV minus 2 is Bernoulli's equation is the same as that of the pressure. नेक्स्ट है जी ये फार्मूला आपको नजर आ रहा है स्क्रीन के ऊपर. एम वर्क डन इज कितना हो जाएगा, इसको जब कैलकुलेशंस करेंगे तो 0 हो जाएगा. इफ एफ एक्स इज इक्वल टू 100 सेंटीमीटर और एफ वाई इज इक्वल टू 5 सेंटीमीटर लेंथ एंड मैग्नीफाइंग पावर ऑफ एन एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल टेलीस्कोप इज कितनी हो जाएगी 105 सेंटीमीटर और 20. स्पीड ऑफ साउंड एट 0 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड इन एयर इज 332 मीटर पर सेकेंड. Root mean square velocity is related to the absolute temperature of an ideal gas is this one. Relation between the speed of the displacement and loop at the bottom of an incline is this one. V displacement is equal to 4 over 3 V under root और ये hoop आ जाएगा V पे. The sum of the two perpendicular forces are 8n and 6n is कितना हो जाएगा जी 10n. Next है the quantity 1 kilometer square is equal to 1 into 10 raised to power 6 meter square. Which pair has same unit momentum and impulse? If Rx and Ry both are the negative, then the resultant lies in the quadrant. Third quadrant में होगा. Cross product of J into K is I. Rocket ejects the burnt gases at the speed of over consuming fuel at the rate of 1000 kilogram per second पे है जी 4000 meter per second. The ratio between orbital velocity and escape velocity is under root 1 over 2. Ratio of the disk velocity to hoop velocity in case of rotational kinetic energy हो जाएगी जी under root 4 over 3. The expression for an centripetal force is given mr omega square. Equation of the continuity gives the conservation of the mass. 1 torr is equal to 133.3 Newton per meter square. Distance between adjacent node and anti-node is lambda over 4. In order to double period of the simple pendulum, the length of the pendulum should increase 4 times. Types of the wave used in sonar are sound waves. Fringe spacing increases if we use the red light. Product number of the ruling n and order of the diffraction m is equal to resolving power. Difference between Cp and Cv is equal to the universal gas constant. Efficiency of diesel engine is 35% to 40%. Or next, dash is the drive unit, Newton is the drive unit. Dash has the same dimension. इनमें से कौन सी ऑप्शन करेक्ट है? वर्क एंड टॉर हैज द सेम डायरेक्शन. If the resultant of the two vector each of magnitude f also of the magnitude f, then the angle between them will be 120. If AB sin theta is equal to AB cos theta, then the angle between A and B is 45. Pull of earth on a mass of 10 kg on the surface of earth is 98 Newton. Dash is a non-convective force, frictional force. 1 radian is equal to 57.3. The ratio of the momentum of inertia of disk and hoop is 1 over 2. Next है जी on the average for normal healthy person diastolic pressure is 75 to 80 torr. When the bob of the simple pendulum is at extreme position, then its kinetic energy is 0. Turing fork is a source of sound. Longitudinal waves do not exhibit the polarization. For which of the following color will be fringe width be minimum in the double slit experiment? Violet. A layer over the central core of the jacket is called the cladding. What remains constant in a adiabatic process? Entropy same होती है. According to the first law of thermodynamics, the quantity which is conserved is energy. नेक्स्ट पेपर है जी, द मैक्सिमम हाइट अटेन्ड बाय अ प्रोजेक्टाइल इज, ये सेकंड वन इसकी जो करेक्ट है. उसके बाद 1 रेडियन इज इक्वल टू 57.3. द प्रॉपर्टी of the bending of light around the obstacle is diffraction. The kinetic energy of the molecule of an ideal gas at absolute zero will be zero. Travel time of the light from sun to earth is 8 minutes 20 seconds. The frequency range of dog ear is 60 to 70,000 hertz. Unit of torque in SI unit is Newton n minus m. At resonance, the transfer of energy is maximum. The efficiency of the diesel engine is about 35 to 40%. Kilowatt hour is the unit of energy. The dimension of the relation mc square are equal to the dimension of the energy. If a body of mass 10 kg is allowed to fall freely, its apparent weight becomes 9.8 Newton. The angle of projection of the projectile, for which its maximum height and horizontal range are equal to 76. A 10-meter high tank is full of water. A hole appears at its middle. The speed of a flux will be 9.9 meter per. The dot product I dot I is equal to 1. Beat can be heard by a man when difference of frequency is not more than 10 Hz. The least distance of the distinct vision for normal eye is 25 centimeter. A ventrimeter is a device used to measure the speed of the fluid. The horizontal range of the projectile is this one. If 20 waves pass through the medium in 1 second with speed of 20 meter per second, then the wavelength is 1 meter. The dimensions of the torque are ml square or t minus 2. The efficiency of the Carnot engine is greater than 1. 1 radian is equal to 57.3. Which of the following is only scalar quantity energy? ml t minus 1 refers to the quantity frequency. If the length of the simple pendulum is double, then its period increases 1.44 times. For normal adjustment, length of the telescope is f(o) plus f(c). The angular displacement per second is called velocity. SI unit of impulse is equivalent to momentum. Pressure of an ideal gas can be written in terms of its density. P is equal to 1 over 3. And this one, kilowatt hours is the unit of energy. Position vector of the point in xz plane is given by xi plus zk. The number of the nodes between two consecutive antinode is 1. Bragg's equation is given by n is equal to 2d sine theta over lambda. Next paper, in rotational motion, the analogues of the force is torque. Bragg's equation is this one, d sine theta is equal to n lambda over 2. Pi radian is equal to 180. Heat is the form of energy. The prefix femto is equal to 10 raised to the minus 15. The dimension of torque are this one. A topical rocket ejects the burnt gaseous speed at the rate of 4000 meter per second. In Carnot engine, each process is perfectly reversible. The value of the horizontal acceleration during projectile motion is 0. The time period of the simple pendulum is independent of mass. If A dot B is equal to A cross B, then angle between A and B is 45. Speed of the sound in air at 0 degrees centigrade is 332 meter per second. A chimney works best when it is tall. Refractive index of water is 1.33. Gravity performs zero work when body moves horizontally. Projection of B on A जो है वो B cos theta. Example of mechanical wave is water wave. Next paper है जी, SI unit of intensity of light is candela. SI system is built by how many kinds of units? 7. SI unit of torque is Nm. उसके बाद है for a body to be in complete equilibrium जो है summation of F is equal to 0. The acceleration of 1.5 meter per second square is expressed in किलोमीटर जो है वो इसमें कैसे बताएंगे 19440 में बताएंगे जी. For what angle of projection projectile has a maximum horizontal range 45 degree. 1 kilowatt is equal to 1000 joule per second. Magnitude of centripetal acceleration is RW square. 1 torr in nm minus 2 is equal to 133.3. Radius of the geostationary orbit is 4.23 into 10 raised to the 4 kilometer. Example of mechanical wave is water wave. Distance between node and consecutive antinode is lambda over 2. Open end of an organ pipe is acts as a antinode. If Young's double slit experiment fringe spacing will be maximum if we use red light. If n is the number of ruling on the grating, then the resolving power in mth order diffraction is R is equal to n into m. For 1 mole of an ideal gas, the gas equation becomes PV is equal to RT. SI unit of energy, entropy is J over K. The unit of solid angle is steradian. Light year is the unit of distance. Which of the angle between I plus j and I minus j vector? Which is the angle between I plus j and I minus j vector is 90. Dash is not scalar. Torque. When rocket moves upward, its acceleration is increases. Or shape of trajectory of projectile is parabola. The rock containing hot water are called magma. The angular displacement 2 for daily motion of Earth is 2 pi radian. A body of 1 kilogram moving with the A is equal to G when its apparent weight is 19.6 Newton. Pressure is high where speed is low. Frequency of second pendulum is 0.5 Hz. Distance between two consecutive nodes is pi lambda over 2. Speed of sound is independent of the pressure. ये जो है करेक्ट नहीं है, इसको काट दें. सिंगल मोड स्टेप इंडेक्स फाइबर कैन ट्रांसमिट टीवी चैनल्स मोर देन 14. If the temperature of sink decreases, then the efficiency of engine increases. 1 Pascal is the unit of pressure. Next है जी, if least count is 10 kilogram, then 8.00 into 10 raised to power 3 has significant digit 1. Dimension of f into L over m under root r mlt minus 1. The angle between rectangular component is 90. The value of g at the center of the earth is 0. Gravity performs no work if body moves horizontally. The droplet of water has terminal velocity. The acceleration is 0. If the initial phase is pi over 2, the displacement of SHM is x is equal to x0 sine omega t. Speed of sound in copper is 3600 meter per second. Intensity of light depends on amplitude. The speed of light in different medium is always different. SI unit of molar specific heat are joule per mole per kilo. उसके बाद है जी, projection of B on A is B cos theta. Radius of geostationary satellite is 4.23 into 10 raised to 4 kilometer. The value of constant for monoatomic gas is 1.67. Carnot engine is then ideal. और उसके बाद है ballistic missiles are only for short range. The slope at any point on the velocity time graph gives the acceleration. ये था जी फिजिक्स का एमसीक्यूज. फुल बुक के सॉल्व एमसीक्यूज हमने आपको बताए. उम्मीद है आपकी तैयारी जो है वो ये वीडियो देखते देखते हो गई होगी. अपने फ्रेंड्स के साथ भी शेयर करें ताकि वो भी कोई और काम करते करते भी आप लोग जो है वो वीडियो सुन सकते हैं और आपकी ऑब्जेक्टिव तैयार हो सकती है. नेक्स्ट वीडियो तक अल्लाह हाफिज.